We all had an early vision of what our lives would look like, and then life actually happened. From marriage to motherhood, career dreams, and everything in between, this is Life Actually with Mary Bell. Sean Degnan is a dynamic entrepreneur, lifelong athlete, and passionate advocate for men's leadership. Named one of Westchester County's 40 under 40 in business in 2024, Sean is a partner of several successful ventures, including All-in-One Commercial Cleaning, the Sailhouse, a waterfront restaurant in Tarrytown, and ACE, Action Cultivates Excellence, a men's leadership and personal development company launched in early 2024 alongside Dave Reggina. A former college football player and devoted fitness enthusiast, Sean continues to challenge his limits, having competed this year in HYROX Las Vegas, multiple half marathons, and most recently achieving a personal milestone of running 50 miles on foot, which is just wild. Sean is deeply committed to helping men lead with strength and vulnerability. Through ACE, he's guided hundreds in becoming more intentional leaders, fathers, husbands, and high-performing individuals. He prides himself on creating a platform for others to share powerful conversations around leadership, fitness, entrepreneurship, mental health, grief, and the mindset required to thrive. Sean is one of the good guys, a does what he says he's going to do guy, dedicated, loyal, trustworthy, and responsible. How do I know that? Call it a hunch, I guess, but the more I get to know him and his beautiful fiance, Jackie, who are getting married this November, it's an easy thing to recognize. If you've been here a while, you know I love celebrating the strong, vulnerable type, and Sean is no exception. So welcome to Life Actually with Mary Bell and Sean Degnan.
I made it to the big screen, baby. Let's go. Mary Bell Books. We in here.
We are in here in the new. You haven't been in Claudio's new studio.
This is the new digs. I think this is my 5th or 6th pod with you, Claudio. This is the first one in the new digs, so thank you for having me.
Welcome. See, I got something over Dave Reggina here in the podcast.
We popped the new pod cherry here.
Here we are. And I feel like every time I start recording, it's always Dave Reggina, no snooze, no snooze. And we are all here because of that connection.
He's the best. He connects me to everybody, and big shouts to Dave. He's an incredible person. I love him so much. He's marrying me in November. So.
I can't wait to see all of that footage. That's going to be hilarious.
Yes,
I cannot wait to talk about marriage, relationship stuff. It's my favorite, obviously. I write romance books, and I've gotten to know Jackie mostly through Instagram, but then we met at the ACE workout on Sunday. Jay came.
That was the first time you guys met in person?
No, we met very briefly at a Tony Peck event of some kind at the Sailhouse.
Okay.
I think it was Alessandra.
Yes.
Her event. Met briefly there, and then we got friendly on Instagram. And then it's the same thing that always happens on Instagram. You talk to each other all the time, and then you're like, do I really like this person in real life? And I met her in real life again, but like fully, and it's a total vibe there.
So this is like, I don't know, a couple weeks back, maybe a month or two ago, she's like scrolling TikTok, and she's like, and I'm like, what are you laughing at? She's like, she's so funny. And I'm like, who? She's like, Mary Bell. She's so funny.
Oh, my
She's like,
goodness.
I love her.
I feel
so
the
last like couple of weeks, she's just like brought your name up so many times, like how like just she like really likes you a lot and enjoys talking to you and all that. So it's good stuff. It's all. It
really
stuff.
is. It's just very interesting too. When you meet people and like, yes, I talk about Dave all the time. No snooze, Claudio, all of us. But it's like you just run in similar circles, but you meet so many other people because everybody who's in that circle brings new people to the circle, and then it just keeps building. So on Sunday, I brought Jay, my husband Jay, to our first, both of us, ACE workout.
What'd you think?
I just told you off air, my hamstrings, Pat Damiano, they're crying out for help.
Yeah.
But it was great because it was the ice plunge, which, to be very honest with you, I thought was going to be harder. And somebody had said it could possibly be easier for women because we have more fat on us. Is that?
I don't know what the reason is, but like I remember when Katie, Dave's girlfriend, went in for the first time, and we were like coaching her up on this whole thing. We're like prepping her mentally, and she just gets in and she's like, I was like
like
that's
a
it?
beast.
That's it?
That's it.
And it happens all the time with females that go in. Like they're a lot cooler with it than guys are.
I felt
you guys
like
are tougher than us.
Well, you know what? One of my girlfriends was like you had a baby.
Yeah.
And I basically judge all of my pain on that. Like I could break something and be like, is this still easier than getting a baby out of me? And if it is, then I just...
Well, it's a high threshold, so...
Yeah. But I do remember, even Jay said the other day, he's like, do you even remember being in there? I said, I remember Dave like right here. And he was telling me to breathe. And I was sort of like, shut up, stop talking. Like I was not paying attention to him and his breathing coaching at all. And I was looking straight at Jay and I was like, okay. And then Callie was right here throwing the ice in the bucket. So it was a full experience. And then you kind of black out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like my skin was out on absolute fire, which is weird because you're in ice. Does that happen to you at all?
Yeah, because your body temperature needs to like heat up on its own. So it's like the natural trigger response that your body's like, it's like a fight or flight type of thing.
Right.
So you're in freezing cold and then your internal body temperature needs to try and work to raise.
And we're totally off script already, which is great and I love it. But I looked when the Titanic sank what the water was. And I was like, how long did these people last? And it was 28 degrees. And Joe, I think, said the water started on Sunday at 38.
Yeah.
So that was 10 degrees colder, that water.
Yeah.
Which is, she could have let Jack on the board with her. I don't know if you agree. But
yeah, I think so too.
Right? So anyway, so then after that, I just remember like my body then shaking and everybody was sort of like, how'd you do that? And I felt the same way. I was like, the workout was more difficult because it just doesn't come super naturally to me, which is a great segue into you are like a fitness athlete guy first, which I just want to start even before that because I don't know a lot about you personally. I know through, just getting to know each other through ACE and the different things that we've done together. But Sean, as like a little kid and like your family life, I love to always start there.
Yeah.
A lot of people who'll be tuning in who know you probably know it, but I don't and my listeners don't. So start at the beginning.
Totally. So I was just telling Claudio and you, I grew up in Irvington, New York, so Westchester guy, and just a big Irish family, big Irish old school Catholic family, and just like the old morals and values is what we were kind of taught from a real young age. Fitness, I would say sports, not really fitness, but sports kind of like fueled like my sibling circle. We were all just doing everything. I think I did 4 or 5 sports when I was a kid, like all at once, just doing stuff, trying everything.
From very young?
Very young.
Okay.
And even before sports, we were just like pushed by my mother, really, on my mom's side to just be active. Mm-hmm. Like I was like going off the diving board, I think when I was like 2 or 3 years old.
Okay.
So like it was that like early. My uncle Jerry, who was at the ACE workout on Sunday, who Claudio knows and Dave know, he was an old school Greenberg guy. He was a commissioner.
Was he the one taking pictures?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So he was the commissioner of Parks and Rec for like 30-something years at Greenberg. So we had like the in to the Greenberg pool.
Okay.
You had to be a Greenberg resident, but we were Irvington. We would go there every summer. My mom would like do like 50, 100 laps in the pool and just be like, yeah, go off the diving board. And I'm like, okay. And like you would just jump in, and it was kind of like we were just talking about like fight or flight type of situation. Yep. Like she really pushed us a lot from a young age to do a lot more than we thought we could. And I think I've taken that throughout the years now, just in transition to business, to the fitness stuff that I do. Currently, it's just kind of something that was ingrained in me from a young age,
I think it's super important because even having a child myself, you can see different parenting styles. So sometimes if you're the be careful, don't do this, watch what you're doing parent, you're on the complete opposite side where your kid grows up being scared of everything, they don't do anything, and it's not the best because they're going to get flung into like school atmosphere and just get left behind. Then you have the other side where like there's a whole lack of like, oversee and, you just watch kids get unnecessarily hurt. And then I think there's that point in the middle where like you're very encouraging of trying new things. Like I say to Marina a lot, like she's very funny. She'll get nervous like before her dance recital and she'll start to do like yoga moves or like deep breath relaxation. I'm like, first of all, where did you even learn this? But she was like sitting here like wow. Deep breathing. And I'm like, it's got to be something she learned on either like YouTube or Netflix or something. But then I say to her, I'm like, it's all here. That's where like the scary thing happens. I said, just get that out of your head and you know your dance, you know your routine. You look great. You feel great. You're going to get on stage. And she's 5.
Do you say that to her?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing too, because a lot of times you could sit there in that mental space, right? And like even when you were there, if you're diving off of diving boards, your parents probably had you doing it from so young that you didn't even think about it. So I'm starting that with her a little bit because it's kind of hard to. Where are you in the sibling lineup?
I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
So my older sister is 35, 6. I might butcher that there, but I'm 33. My brother Kevin's 30 or 31.
Okay.
And then Kelly is, 25, 26.
Did your parents, were they a little easier, or a little, not easier or harder, but like more protective of your older sister because she was firstborn and a girl?
I think so, but like, yeah, they were for sure. And I think things got like more lackadaisical as the years went on. And I was a huge catalyst to that because I was an absolute menace to society.
But I'm learning just boys are like that.
Yeah. I was pretty bad though. It was,
particularly bad.
I put my mom through a lot. My dad, was fed up with me at an early age too, and it was just, I don't know. I was a good kid at heart. Parents loved me because I just had that schmoozer, like flirty, like thing going on for me. But I got in a lot of trouble. Like I just loved doing shit I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah, I find that it's just really a different energy with boys and girls. Like you could sit a girl at a table and she can color, she could do like Marina, she sits there, she makes like food creations from Play-Doh. And then my nephew is like, you want to go outside and throw the football? You want to go outside and do the race car? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do those things. But it's like, he's got that energy and like we want to feed it because you don't want it to turn into like bad energy at some point. So I just think a lot of it has to do with men versus women, especially like boys versus girl at that age.
Totally.
But I love too, because you probably had the love and support of your parents to do all this great stuff that you're doing now. It funneled into being very productive, older Sean. Little kid Sean.
Finally. Took a long time.
Not little pain in the ass kid Sean.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Now, when you were young, did you have something that you knew when you got older is what you wanted to be when you grew up?
So from a very young age, it's so funny because I've been talking about this a lot recently now because it's just like I'm kind of unpacking how I was raised, and I'm unpacking just like my thought process and all that stuff. And the reason I just asked you, like, do you say that to your daughter? Because my mom really encouraged us a lot verbally. Like she would say a lot of this stuff, like, yeah, you got to win, you got to be a beast, like, and she wasn't like a pressure like win or else you're a failure type of thing. But she would stress the importance of, working hard and working for what, you earn, So, I mean, I think from a young age, like I just always wanted to be the best at everything I did. Everything. I wanted to have the prettiest girlfriend. I wanted to be the most jacked person. I wanted to make the most money. I wanted to have the most friends. I want everyone to know me. And it's translated now to, in my mid-30s where, like, it's really paying off a lot with all my businesses because I do know a ton of people and I've supported so many people over the years and they, in return, support me back. And, you don't know you're actively kind of building a network and stuff like that when you're a kid. But me and a couple of my close friends were very, like, we were focused on that.
You know what? But I find you to be a very genuine person where, like, even, like, for somebody to hear that who doesn't know you, the prettiest girlfriend, that, like, almost like it's surface level, but you're much deeper than that.
Totally.
So it could have started that way when you were younger and, like, in high school. And I do have a question here as, like, an athlete where you want to, like, the bros in college where, like, you're just too cool for school. And because I don't get that from you at all. And also to make as much impact as you have with all the guys in ACE. And also for strangers who go to ACE who don't even know you and they have to feel comfortable letting you into their life. Like, you can't be one of those, like, oh, I'm the best at everything. So, like, you've totally taken that, used it in your advantage, but, like, turned it around where you're just a very genuine person.
Yeah, I think I've always been, like, a very genuine person, and I really attribute that to my parents. Okay. Like, that's, my dad was, like, one of one, and my mom is, like, super authentic, too. Like, you either, like, love my mom or you're like she's not for me. My father was the nicest guy in the world and everybody loved him, and he just really stressed the importance of, like, just being nice to people, holding the door, talking to strangers, giving people your attention. So I think I have a blend of that. I think, all my siblings have, like, a blend of that.
And, like, very humble?
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't always like that, to your point. Like, I think from a young age, like, there was a long period where I was, like, cocky and it was arrogant, and, I had to kind of change that. I always had a lot of female friends, not, like, romantically. I always had a lot of female friends for some reason. Like, I think I've always been emotionally kind of intuitive, from a young age. And I think that kind of grounded me for a long time and helped me a lot with, just moving and shaking through the social circles and stuff. And they grounded me a lot.
Well, I was going to say, maybe from your older sister, too, because if you're growing up under the wing of having a sister who's sort of paving a certain path for you, even just doing things first, that could possibly help, too.
Yeah, and I think just being in a house where there's there's 2 sisters, 2 brothers. Like you're gonna get a natural mix of it a little bit.
Yeah, good female energy.
Yeah, but it was a little chaotic, you know.
I did already ask. You're an athlete and being one of like the bros in college. So like when you were in high school and in college, and I'm a little bit all over the place because I know I have this further down my sheet here. I find that a lot of like the really good athletes in high school or college, like they sort of peak then, where like you're winning state championships and like, you know, you're that guy. And then you can go to a high school reunion 5-10 years later, and the people who like peaked in high school, what are they doing now? Like not much.
They're showing up with the varsity jacket still.
Kind of like they're living back in those days. And so did something, I guess, from the high school to college to where you decided what you were going career-wise, did anything sort of occur, happen where you were like, all right, you almost felt like you could have picked between 2 paths of like having the glory days be the glory days and like not knowing where to go from there? Or did it always just have this like linear, like, okay, I know what's next and I won't stop until I get there?
I've always had that mindset of like I won't stop till I get there.
Okay.
Always, like from, you know, kindergarten. Like I remember a vivid memory in kindergarten. Like I would tell this girl that I like loved in kindergarten that I was gonna pick her up on my Harley and like take her out to dinner like in kindergarten.
Oh,
like,
I love
have
this.
a vivid memory of
I
this,
love the
you know?
romance book on the end.
Yeah. So like I always would like just have that mindset of like, yeah, you're gonna get whatever you want, but you have to work for it.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't know if there was like a specific shift or anything, but I mean, I was very aware that like I was definitely like the dumb jock for sure.
Okay.
I hated school. Like I did not do anything in school my entire life. I cheated through everything. Like I did not do anything. I had teachers that would pass me in school when I didn't even take the tests. Like I would build the relationships with them.
Okay.
So they loved me. They were like, oh, this kid's a pain in the ass. You know, he doesn't do anything. Oh, but it's just Sean. You know, so like people would kind of give me
Well, you're a good person in your heart.
in my heart, but I was not a student.
Okay.
You know, so
Not on paper so
I
much.
had to make that transition, I think, when I was like, all right, like you want to be super rich and successful one day, like you got to actually do stuff too. You can't just be like an athlete. You can't just, you know, win sports games
And cheat your entire way.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's gonna catch up with you.
Like my resources in college specifically would be surrounded around who has the homework for class on Thursday. That's how we would do it, and we would have like a social circle that everyone would like have a day responsible to get the homework, and everyone would pass it to the other friends. And
I mean, it's kind of resourceful.
yeah, it was, but you know, I look back and I'm like, wow, if I really like paid attention, maybe I'd be a little further along the way. But
You know what? But then that
here
would have
we
been
are.
a completely different journey.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So when we were talking, like when I basically planned like an outline because I never want to like forget specific things that I wanted to ask you about, and you did mention a bunch of things where like kind of like an aggressive side and like fights and like I would love to know that too, because again, it's another thing that I'm sure the guys in Ace get to see another side of you because it's vulnerable. I'm not perfect. I've fucked up a lot in my life. Where did that sort of happen for you, and did it help again push you towards where you are now?
Yeah, so I think from a young age, like I had some serious anger problems, and I hated losing so much, and that was something that I really had to work on. I was a wrestler, and you know, there's no one else to blame when you're losing a wrestling match. So I would lose a match occasionally. Like I was very good at wrestling. You know, I was very good at football, very good at baseball, but baseball, football, you could blame other people. You know, wrestling, it's all on you. And I remember very like vividly again, like just losing wrestling matches, going in the back thing, like not wanting to shake the kid's hand, not wanting to like go see the other coach and shake his hand, look him in the eye. Like that was a big thing for my parents. And
I was gonna say, just from what you said about your dad would probably be pretty pissed off.
they were livid when
Yeah.
I would throw a fit like that.
Okay.
Livid. And I would have to kind of control that on the mat when I lost. And I would go and shake the hand, I would look the guy in the eye, like whatever. And I would go to the back locker room, and I would literally like beat the shit out of a locker until my hand would like bleed. And that was like early on, you know. And I think from like those early years, my mom was like, something's a little off with this guy. And I remember being in, I think it was 6th grade, and she sent me to an anger management therapist.
Okay.
And this guy was like 75 years old. He might as well have been 100 in my eyes. Like, I was up there, top third floor in Tarrytown, like half mile from where my restaurant is. I see it all the time, and I always think about it. And I'm up there, and I just remember being there, like on this guy's couch, and I'm just like talking about like why I have anger problems. And I'm like, is this really what I'm doing right now in sixth grade?
In sixth grade, yeah.
Yeah. So there was a big trend for a long time, and I hung around a lot of people similar to me where, you know, alcohol was always a big fuel of our anger. I mean, we were drinking. I was drinking in sixth grade.
Ooh.
Like we were.
That's big Irish stuff, isn't it?
It was, but it was more so I think my friend circle, because
Okay.
when I was younger, my parents didn't really drink around us that much.
Okay.
As we got older, that changed a lot. But it was my friend group, and like we would go out in the woods, and we'd be in seventh grade hanging out with like seniors in high school, and getting people to buy us beer and the whole thing in the woods. And you know, a lot of that transitioned towards when I was in college, and those college years is when shit kind of went off the rails a little bit.
Where did you go?
Springfield in Massachusetts.
Oh my God, my best friend went to Springfield College, Massachusetts. Yeah. And my brother went to Winnick. Yeah.
My brother went to Winnick.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I played my brother in football in college. It was kind of cool.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I played football there.
Okay.
And I kind of like went into college, and I met people that were like me, like times 10.
Those were pretty big drinking schools too. Like
huge drinking school.
What else are you doing up there?
Yeah. It was just football and drinking.
Yes.
Football, drinking, girls. And like that's like what it was. We got into a lot of fights, and that was kind of like the thing to do. Not 10th grade, my sophomore year in college, we got into a really bad fight. I'll summarize this briefly. We got a phone call. We were downtown. We were out, and my buddy's like, yo, blah, 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 got jumped. We're like, oh, we're there. The whole squad rolls up. It's like 30 of us. Show up to this guy's house. It's the baseball kids from another college nearby.
Okay.
They got baseball bats. It was nuts. And we ended up like really putting some harm onto these kids. People got into some serious trouble. I had 3 of my friends got kicked out of college. I was on probation and like about to get kicked out of college. I had to go through this whole trial. I had 120 hours community service. Like I couldn't do all this stuff. And, you know, people had fines. Like they were, you know,
did you get kicked off the teams you were on?
Temporarily kicked off the team for a couple months. Okay. And that was my sophomore year. Fast forward a couple years later, you know, I was the bartender at like the hot spot there. I was the bouncer at the place, and I was building that reputation up again, like the same way I did when I was in high school. And it got to a point where I'd go out to some places, and there'd be people that would kind of like test me a little bit. And I would have to kind of control myself, because I was like, I can't do this again. Like I can't get in trouble. I can't get kicked off the team. I can't get kicked out of college. So I was dating a girl who's on the gymnastics team at the college I was going to, and I was at their party, and there was like none of my boys with me. It was just me and like this whole gymnast squad, and this kid comes up to me, and he kind of like tests me, and it was like I was the only football guy there. We had kind of a stigma against us, like we were exactly who they thought we were, you know, and I ended up just like really hurting this kid. Threw him down the stairs. Sprinted down, pulled him outside. I broke his orbital bone, his nose, fractured like something on his arm. Like, it was really bad. The next morning, I knew I screwed up that night. I'm like, oh my God, I really lost it. I was graduating in like 3 months. And the next morning, I get a call from the dean of the college on my cell phone. And they're like, Sean, this is Dean, whoever it was, Dean Braverman. Like, you have to come to my office right now. It was a Sunday morning. I was like, what the hell? Show up there, and all he does, I walk in to the office, he just goes like this, and he turns his computer screen, and it's a picture of the kid's face that he sent to the dean the night before. Oh. And under it just says, Sean Degnan did this to me. And so the whole cycle happened again, where I was kicked off the team, and I was kicked off campus.
Okay.
I couldn't walk at graduation.
This was your senior year?
Senior year. And I mean, it was brutal. It was terrible. And you know, that happened a few times, even after I graduated, where I got arrested a couple times, you know, just embarrassing shit. And it was all a reflection, as I look back now, like I couldn't control my anger. I had all this built up aggression and all this, you know, stuff I didn't deal with, I think from a young age, that just kind of like continued to build. And I would take it out in like the aggression form.
Okay.
So-
And that obviously is something that then helps you get, because I know Dave has spoken about that, where you guys got together at basically the lowest points of your lives, right? And you made ACE because that's what you needed at the time.
I needed it my whole life.
Right.
I needed it forever. Like if I had, I had great role models. My father I'm completely different than my father was.
Okay.
And that's like an interesting thing. Like, if I were to just model him, like I would never have done what I did. So, it's just, I think it was excuses. Like if I look back on it, like, oh, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? It's just like, I made dumb choices.
Well, it's kind of an interesting concept too. Again, I'm a parent, and I'm sure one day you'll be a parent too. You can be a certain way. You can teach the lessons. You can model the behavior, and you're still going to have a kid who's going to beat to their own drum. And you're going to sit there and be like, for me and Marina, like certain things, I'm like, where does she get this from? And it could be like a mannerism or like an attitude in her voice. And Jay or my mom could be like, really? You don't know where she gets that from? Because it's like literally me, it like reincarnated in certain instances. Then there's other things that I'm like, no, that is definitely not me. Like, where did you get that from? And it doesn't necessarily have to come from any place. It's just part of you and your personality and your genetics, and you're mixing two people's DNA. So like your parents, they did the best job that they could with you, right? And you're saying like they're good, like loving, kind-hearted,
Totally.
humble people that like kept you on the straight and narrow as much as they could. So like, did anything happen like that is the thing that turned it, or you just think it is like part of your makeup?
I think it's just part of my makeup and like the society and culture that I kind of like ingrained myself in. And, I think like being a young athlete, jock type of dude, you have this competition factor, which I still have today. I just control it better, where it's like you want to be the best, like I said.
The bravado.
And a lot of that is the ego piece that comes in. And it's like you're pumping your chest out and who are you? And like you got to make it known that you walk into a room and this whole thing. And I don't have that anymore. Like I don't have to announce anything. I don't need any of that shit. It's not part of me. But humbly, quietly, I still want to beat you. I want to be better than the last version of myself.
Oh, yeah.
All that. So I don't know. I mean, I touched on this briefly when I was talking to you about when we were getting ready for this podcast too. Post-college, I moved to Yonkers, and I moved down to Getty Square, which if anyone knows Yonkers, Getty Square is like the hood. And my buddy Chris, he's like, look, I need you to move in with me. I'm like, dude, I don't have money. He's like, I'll cover your rent for the first 2 months. Like, just figure it out, whatever. We move in, me, him, my buddy Will. First month we're there, my buddy Will's car gets broken into. Steal all of his shit out, like whatever. We're like, oh, this is kind of bad, like whatever. Second month there, I'm coming home from working in the Bronx. I was in wholesale produce for about 9 years.
Okay.
And I'm coming home. I got a freaking sack of bananas in my hand and an orange or something. Like I was in the produce world. I'm walking from where my parking garage was to where my apartment was, and there was this like pool hall or something that was right on Broadway, and it was always a late night spot. As I'm walking, crossing the street, this dude starts running past me, right past me, and this bigger dude's chasing him. And I look left, and all of a sudden he pulls out a gun, and he's pop, 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 and he's shooting at the guy. And he missed him like 3 or 4 times, and then he like hit him twice.
Oh my God.
And I'm walking on my feet watching this, and there's like 30 people in the street next to me. And I just kind of like speed walk to my apartment. And we could get into this at some point, but like the anxiety thing that I was, dealing with for a long time. At that point, I'm like, wow, I'm losing my breath here. Like I can't feel my chest. This whole thing's happening.
Okay.
I kind of pushed it aside the way I did with everything. I never talked about anything. Like I was very tight-lipped. I never talked about my emotions. Like the way I am now, like you tell people 15 years ago, they're like, there's no way that's Sean.
Yeah.
A month or two goes by, and my roommates kind of pushed it off. They're like, dude, it's not going to happen again. Don't worry about it. Like whatever. I'm like, dude, it's pretty bad. 2 months go by, whatever it was. I'm driving home again. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm in my like 2000 Dodge Durango's beat up car driving. I'm at the red light, and same thing. There's like 30, 40 people in front of this pool hall. A fight breaks out in the middle of the street. I can't drive through where I'm supposed to drive through. I stop my car and I kind of just like wait, and like a fight happens. And like during those years, like I was kind of interested. I'm like, nice, like a fight, like it gets kind of like exciting, you know. And all of a sudden, guns come out again.
Oh my God.
And they start shooting at each other. And I put my car into reverse. I duck my head. I book it backwards. I drive down towards the Yonkers train station. I go left. I go way over, back up the hill so I could get around where this is all happening, and I end up on the other side where I have to go. I look to the left. When I get to the other side, it's still happening. This guy's walking across the street, and this guy's right behind. He has no idea this guy's coming. Bam, shoots him right in the back. And the next morning, I'm looking on the news. They say their fight broke out. There was a shooting. Nobody was injured. No, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is a lie. Like,
oh my God.
I witnessed this with my own two eyes. That night, I pull up in front of my apartment, and I am having a full-blown panic attack. And Mr. Macho, Mr. Ego guy that, you know, is the tough dude, like, lost his shit. I remember I called my cousin Justin, and it's like 2:33 in the morning, and I like couldn't speak. I was like hyperventilating. I'm like couldn't get the words. I said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I told him what happened, and he's like, just get inside, like breathe. You gotta relax. This whole thing. And those years was when I really started to realize that like I had a serious anxiety problem.
But when that's like, were you getting anxiety because you witnessed it, or because you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Do I call somebody? Do I say something? Like,
No.
Not that you could even have probably seen what these people looked like.
No, yeah, like I mean, I think it was more so of just like not being in control of everything, the situation, the scenario, but more so like my emotions, you know.
Okay.
And in college, I was cheated on a couple times. After college, I was cheated on a couple times, and that stuff combined with a lot of people dying around me during those years. One of our close family friends overdosed. My grandmother died. My grandmother's sister died. Like, my best friend's brother died. Another family friend died. Like, they were 19 years old. You know, there's a lot of death around my family. All this stuff paired up together that I never dealt with was like, yep, like you're developing a serious issue here internally. And on the surface, I was the manager of this $35 million company in the Bronx. Like, I was crushing it. I was in shape. I had, pretty girlfriend. I had amazing supportive family. Like, on paper, on Instagram, which Instagram wasn't really a thing then, I looked like Mr. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Internally, I was going to work when I was leading a team of 20 guys, and I'd go in the back corner, and there would be times where I would have to like hide in the icebox because I started crying. And you have no idea.
It just all caught up to you.
It all caught up to me.
And so you're a type A personality, obviously, right? Like, you like to get your shit done and be in control. That's how I am.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I had anxiety until I had Marina, because I just planned all my anxiety to death. Like, I planned it away. So nothing could go not to plan, because I was prepared for everything. When you have a kid, especially as a female, that's out the window. So, like, I couldn't have a regular work day anymore. I didn't know if I was going to sleep that night. I'd get anxiety putting her to bed as a baby, because, like, they wake up every couple hours to feed. So, like, you have no control over your life anymore. And I never realized that I had anxiety because, like I said, I planned it. I thought I had my shit together. Having a baby was sort of like this turnaround that you're having, a lot less traumatizing than the shit that you just explained that you went through. But I was like, oh, wow, I have a tremendous amount of anxiety that when I am unable to plan it, I don't know what to do with myself. And so it was very hard.
Plan it meaning what? Like, plan stuff so you can't even deal with it? Like, you're so busy?
Like, plan it so that there's very, very little possibility of something going wrong. So, like, even planning a party, like, well, I'm going to have drinks, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. If somebody comes here and they need this, I'm going to have this ready. Everything. I'm going to do this 3 days in advance so that the groceries are done, and then I have time to do this. Like, it was just very organized. And, like, when I say planning, I mean, like, a very like, my grocery list is by department, so that I know what I'm hitting.
Damn.
Yeah, like, very fucking organized, like, overly so. Where if somebody probably sent me a list of, like, and shit was out of order, I'd be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what to do with this. So, like, I realized, like, okay, and Jay has actually helped me with this. He's like, Mare, it's great to be organized and to have a plan for things, but you have to be much more adept at, like, if things don't go to plan, what are you going to do?
You're gonna be able to bend.
Yeah, he's like, are you just gonna like crumble? And like, especially I'm now the mother of his child, so like if me and her are somewhere, and like he's great, his law enforcement background, and like I carry like I'm ready. I've got a plan. And again, it's another version of me that like, okay, I have a plan in place if shit goes and hits the fan. But he's also got to believe, like, is she really going to be able to carry this out? Or if the plan goes to shit, like, is she going to be able to do it?
Yeah.
All of that to relate to you basically, it sounds like being, like, at the top of, like, your sports class and, like, doing really well on that front. You have control over, you're working the hardest that you can, and you want to win as much as you can. And then when things did not go according to plan and you lost your random wrestling matches, shit hit the fan for you and you fucking bloodied your knuckles in the locker. So that was your version of that, right? Like when,
Totally.
Yes. And then when you don't realize probably as it's happening that it's your anxiety or inability to like basically figure out your emotions and deal with them as it's happening, you're not necessarily figuring that out until it's getting to these later like junctures in your life where it's becoming just too heavy and too overwhelming. And you're like, okay, well, I can't possibly sustain this.
Yeah, and it's interesting now because I'm so aware of like when I'm trending down that path because I'm still like I'm a workaholic. I mean, I'm nonstop. Like today, I'm in like I don't know 5-6 different places today. I'm in the city. I was in Mount Vernon. I'm in Stanford now. I'm going to Tarrytown. Like I'm everywhere. I'm aware of like when I'm like, all right, you're trending down that path and you need to slow down, dude. You need to take a minute for yourself. You need to like leave work early tonight, get home with Jackie and
recalibrate,
fuel yourself back up. Because if you don't, you're going to blow. You're going to blow up, dude. And I just didn't know what that was for a long time. I was hospitalized a few times for straight up panic attacks. Like it was brutal.
And I feel like a lot of people go through this and they hopefully if somebody is listening to this, right, like, because this is why we do all of this. A lot of times people are like, what are you doing a podcast for? Like, who's listening? I don't know who's listening. But if you are.
Millions of fans.
Yeah, millions and millions of people. If you are, and because I know a lot of friends like this, like they just go. And you're like, can you please make sure you don't have a heart attack one day?
Yeah.
But if you feel like that, it's exactly that. It's understanding where it's sort of bubbling from. And then understanding your own levels of like what you can.
What's your threshold?
Yes, manage. And then and I've helped Jay with this too because he's a go to work, do the best of his ability and everything that he does, and then come home and be the best dad and the best husband. And I say to him often, I'm like, hey babe, when are you taking time for yourself? Because it's like, I say this all the time in the airplane, you have to put your oxygen mask on first. You're doing everything for everybody else, the people you work for, the people you work with, me, Marina. If you're not taking care of Jay, like you're not going to be able to sustain this for much longer. So also attached to that is you have not drank now for a long time, right?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Right. So that is what I'm learning. Working with Dave and Jay and I both doing our nutrition, our fitness.
Which you look great. You've been crushing it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Every time I look at the screen, it's like my new thing. It's a month goes by and I look and I'm like, yeah, shit, my face is thinner every single time that I come.
That's awesome.
But when we started, Dave has us both on like our max calories and like low fat, low sugar. And Jay and I initially said, oh yeah, and low joy, like, because you have to like get used to eating a completely different way. Jay and I are foodies and everything is just our Sunday meals.
It's tough.
And you're in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
So you're around food, you're around drinks. And like, how the hell are you cooking food and not eating it to make sure that it's good, right? It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But the biggest piece for me was drinking, which I'm not like a crazy big drinker, but like I was like, oh, I can't wait to have Prosecco later. And like it was my crutch. So I've said this a bunch of times now, but I think it's important with your stuff too, is that oftentimes when shit hits the fan or you're anxious, whether you know you're anxious or not, and stuff is just like very stressful, you lean on these things, whether for some people it's eating, some people it's drinking. For me, a lot of times it was both. So if I'd have my wine at home or Prosecco, then I'd be like, oh, I'm like a 5-year-old sometimes. I want like pasta with butter. Like it's like my favorite comfort.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's like it's empty calories, but I could eat like half a pound of pasta at a clip. With wine, it's like 1,500 calories.
Oh, I'd do the whole box.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's the best.
It's like a cozy blanket. But I was doing that, and then like again, you sleep like shit because your body's trying to process all of the starch, the stuff in the alcohol. It's horrible. And you start the cycle again, and then your body just wants it, wants it, wants it. So Dave would joke, and he's like, listen, this is not a death sentence that you can never drink again. And I've said on prior episodes, I'm not going to ever drink again. I haven't drank in like 10 weeks. I don't miss it at this point.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah.
And so the point of me saying that is that in the times where I was getting really stressed or anxious or maybe depressed about something, I'd lean on the drinking to help make me, quote, feel better, quote, take my mind off of stuff. All that does is temporarily take your mind off of stuff. And then when your buzz is gone and you wake up the next day, all your shit is still there.
Yep.
And you didn't learn how to process through anything. So now when if I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm not leaning on the alcohol. For the first time in my life, I'm like, oh, wow, I got to get downstairs and work out. I never used to say that. Like, it's an ongoing joke with my family and friends. Like, I'm not fucking working out for fun. And now I kind of do. And that's like
amazing.
10 weeks later. And like Dave, you know how tough Dave is, like when he believes in you. He's like, all right, you're doing really good, but let's make sure you're doing this after like 4 months, you know?
Yeah.
So he's got to keep pushing. But not to make it all about me, for you personally and listening to, it's just connecting the dots for me that when you really realize where that stress, anxiety, depression comes from and you don't lean on shitty behaviors to help you through it, you actually get to the next stage of your life where you can operate the best that you possibly can. And I feel like you're there.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% there. And it's been a journey. Like, I mean, I was the guy that would go out and like take down like 20, 30 beers, like legit.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. It was so fun, like in the moment, you know, that's what I felt. And the flip side of what you're talking about is like also when you celebrate something, everything is surrounding around drinking and eating and this whole thing. And again, huge foodie too. You know, I love food. My 4th grade birthday party was at the Palm Steakhouse. Okay, my mom's like, you want to go to Sports Time? You want to go to Chuck E. Cheese? I'm like, no, I want to go to Uncle Eddie's steakhouse. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's like 120 a head. Like,
No big deal.
Legit, like brought 6 of my friends to Manhattan for a steakhouse dinner, my 4th grade birthday, you know? So like, it's in my DNA. But I've learned now, like even after my 50-mile race, I said to Jackie that night, I was like, I think I want to have a beer. I was like, I deserve a beer after this. And this was like a month ago. And I called myself after we got back to the hotel, I showered, and, you know, I kind of like thought about it a little bit. I was like, why is that my reward? Why is a beer my reward? You know, like, sure, people can lean on, and I've leaned on alcohol and all this stuff so many times as my crutch, as like my escape, all that. But it's also the celebration. And why? It doesn't have to be. Like, you could just enjoy a nice steak or something or whatever after. You can enjoy just, like, basking in the moment with your fiance, you know? And, like, I did that. I chose to do that night.
And Jackie doesn't drink either?
No. What she says, it's so funny. Like, she'll just go like, I do what you do. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she's like, oh, like, I want ice cream. And I'm like, I'm not going to have it. She's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to get it. I'm like, well, why? Like, she's like, well, I do what you do. So it's like anything, like, whatever it is. She's the best, you know, like she's very supportive, and she was never a big drinker ever. So like this isn't that hard for her.
Okay.
It was just funny. Like once I hit like a year, I was like, yes, like I'm a year sober, a year in, like, you know me, I'm all over freaking Instagram, me and Dave, this whole thing. And she's like, yeah, me too. I'm like, good job, Jack. But it's like, it's bigger for me.
But isn't it so much better too? Because when I started this, I had asked Dave on like a separate conversation because I was just tired of looking at myself, tired of like not wanting to get dressed like in clothes. And we were talking about his book. He had already shared this, but we were on the phone talking about his book, how I could help him. And then before I got off the phone, I'm like, okay, give me 3 things that to jumpstart weight loss just before we get off the phone, just help me. And that's when he was like, if you're really serious, I'll make you a plan. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, make me a plan, please. And can I get one? I need one for Jay too, so he could do it together with me. Having the person who's doing it with you and doing the same, like across the board, supportive, it makes a huge difference.
Oh my God, it's amazing. And that's like with the power of like ACE is just community, you know?
Yes.
And I think it's with anything. Like you surround yourself with people that are doing similar stuff, you're going to naturally gravitate towards that. So, you know, our group chat I have, it's me, Nick Menente, Joe K, who have been like 2 of my best friends forever, and Dave. And we talk about just like getting better all the time. And all these guys don't drink. All these guys are like shredded to pieces. So it's like if one of us falls off the wagon, 3 of us are gonna be like, dude, what's going on? You look like shit. What's happening here? Like, and you have that accountability. And it's really a standard, you know? It's just like the standard that we keep with ourselves.
It's like group chat therapy.
Totally.
Have you done actual therapy?
I've tried it.
Okay.
After my father passed, which I know we'll get into after, I tried therapy, and it wasn't really for me. I gave it a go, and I didn't want to, like, you know, not try it. I did it for a little while, a month or two, and it didn't really resonate with me. And I thought so long that, like, you know, maybe this is the piece that you're missing. And then I just realized, I was like, I already have therapy. I have ACE, you know, and ACE is my therapy. You know, the men's dinners that we do on a monthly basis, we talk about some deep shit. And we talk about stuff that a lot of people aren't comfortable talking to their family about, their spouse, their kids, like stuff that's very protected, I think, in most people's minds. And that's been my outlet, and it's been a blessing.
Well, and I think that's the important thing, too, is that people could sit there and say, well, you need to have therapy, and it needs to be like this. Therapy could be a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And the thing that makes you feel comfortable and then even excited to do it or look forward to it, that's going to be the difference than being like, oh, well, shit, I have to go sit, you know, across a desk from somebody or whatever. You're not going to look forward to that. And even that is the same as I'm saying now, fitness. So if Dave is sitting there telling me and Jay to do X, Y, Z, and like, I don't like doing it, that's not going to be very sustainable for me.
No.
Like, there's got to be other exercise you could tell me to do, other nutrition things. And we joke about this because he told me to cut the cream out of my coffee because I'm doing intermittent fasting, right? 11 to 8 or 11 to 7, 12 to 8. And I'm not supposed to have the cream in my coffee for it to count as an actual fast because it's just supposed to be black coffee. I was miserable after 3 days. And I said, listen, sir, I know that I'm supposed to be fasting, but like this cream in my coffee, it's like completely killing my joy. And then what I'm finding is that I'm hungry because it's like not filling me up. And you know how Dave is. So he's like, no, it's all mental, Mare, actually. Like, you're just making it a bigger deal than it has to be. And I'm like, no, it's really, this is what it is for me. And so I need to work with this, and I need to like, it's.
So do you have cream in your coffee?
I do have cream in my coffee. Even at Ace the other day, I'm like, I cream in my coffee, buddy. And then he just, what is he going to do? Like, he's not going to like sit there and like force me to drink black coffee. And also it's important to me that it lasts like long.
Sustainable.
Yeah. So all of that to say, like, you're doing therapy with the people that you trust in the method that you enjoy doing it, that is sustainable for you.
Totally.
So I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I think like in the personal development space and world where like, especially just like on Instagram, social media, like you got to do this. You got to journal every morning. You got to meditate and do this. You got to cold plunge. You got to all this shit that like everyone says you got to do. I've done it all. And I've been through seasons of my life where I journal every day. I haven't journaled in like, I don't know, 5 months maybe. And I'm fine with it. It's fine. It's just not where I'm at right now, you know? And you have to give yourself grace. But I think where people screw up is they give themselves too much grace. Oh, I deserve this. I deserve that. So it's like, you know, you got to find that happy balance.
Yes.
You know, you're doing the intermittent fasting, but, you know, I want a shot of cream in my coffee, Dave. You know?
God damn it, Dave.
So, like, for you, that's going to be more sustainable than it would be of trying to get down a gasoline cup of black
it's fucking
every day.
terrible.
You know, like, for me, I love it. You know, so like I'm good with that. But
I had a bunch of people say put it on ice, which probably would make it better, like watered down. And even Jay was like, why don't you just have like a espresso? Because then it's just a couple sips. But it's like not enough caffeine. Then I'd have to have another espresso. And like at that point, I'm just having another fucking.
But you don't enjoy it.
I don't.
Like Jackie's doing her macros right now, and she's dialed in, but she loves breakfast. Okay. So she had to figure out a way that like it was gonna work. She's got these protein pancakes that like fit everything in her macros. They're like awesome, and she still has like that like little kid like pancake thing in the morning every day.
I do love pancakes too, Jack.
Yeah, so like we'll shoot you over the brand and recipe, but she crushes it with it, and like for her, she needed to do that and find a way to make that work.
And you look forward to eating it
every day. She's so excited for breakfast every day. You know, it's the best. But like for her, it's going to be way more sustainable. Pat was talking about this on Sunday. He's the kettlebell guy. If kettlebells aren't for you, try something different. It's not going to offend him, right? You know, and that's really like what you got to do when you're trying new stuff. Is like find something that's challenging, that's hard, but make it work for you. Tailor it to your needs.
Go outside your comfort zone. Find the thing that what you might have convinced yourself you're not going to do, you're not going to be good at, but you don't know unless you try.
Totally.
Because again, it goes back to parenting. It's the same thing I tell my kid. Like you may not like soccer, but let's try it to see if you do. It's so funny. I just looked at the clock. I'm like, holy shit, we've been recording for an hour. I feel like, we're doing good here. And where we break the episodes up into 2 parts. There's even questions I didn't ask you yet on here, but in the interest of saving time here, we're going to end part 1 and then go into our next, which I'm very excited about. But in case anybody's just catching episode 1 at the end, tell them where to find you.
You catch me on Instagram at Sean.Degnan, A Sanctuary Instagram. I'm at Sailhouse Tarrytown, and all platforms, SeanDegnan.com.
Sailhouse is fantastic, overlooking formerly known as the Tappan Zee Bridge, correct? What is it called now?
Yeah, it's the Cuomo. I gotta be very careful with who I say this to.
Yes.
So it's the bridge.
It's the bridge. It's always going to be the tap, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, whatever. But anyways, all right. So 1 week from today will be part 2 with Sean Degnan. So stay tuned for that. Thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, follow the full journey on social media at the handle mary.bell.books. And if you have need for audio-visual content creation and recording services, Cayi Visions is located in Stamford, Connecticut, and can also be found on Instagram at CAYI Visions.